The Power of Now. This video can help you solve many problems such as overthinking, depression, worry, anxiety, and so on. The ideas in this book are quite difficult to understand and accept, so please listen carefully to the end with an open mind. Chapter 1. You are not your mind. Your body is a powerful machine equipped with all the tools. Like any other tool, you should use your tools carefully and then put them in place when you're done. If you use any tool without stopping, it will break. It seems like a simple rule to obey, right? Yet we always forget to give the most powerful tool a break: our mind. There is a constant conversation in our mind. What will happen if I can't find a job? I forgot to pay my debts again. What will happen if I can't pass the exam? I'm hungry. What should I eat? Constant thinking is a very dangerous addiction. We call something addiction when we can't say no to it. Can you stop thinking? Do you know where the off button is? If the answer is no, then you have an addiction, and it is killing you. I am not saying that metaphorically, it is literally killing you. Overthinking is the main source of all pain, stress, and dissatisfaction. Everyone around us has this addiction, and that is why we think it is quite normal. However, it is not. If you see someone talking loudly in the street, you would call him crazy, but just because we don't verbalize our thoughts doesn't make us very different to that person. If you think too much, it becomes repetitive, useless, and negative. The tool you were supposed to use will start to use you, and you will become a slave to your own mind. The author says that you can get rid of overthinking only by paying attention to now. By being present, the present moment is all you have. You can practice this when you are doing simple tasks. For example, when you are washing your hands, watch the water pour over your hands, smell the soap, listen to the sound of the water, feel the softness of the towel. At first it will last very little time, and your mind will bring up thoughts of the past or the future. When this happens, just watch your mind. Don't judge, don't be angry, just watch what your mind is doing. Observe your mind as if you are observing another person. The author calls this observing the thinker. By observing the thinker, you soon realize that you are not your mind. They are two different entities. Here is your mind and here is your observer. If you practice being more present, you will soon laugh at your mind because you will see his tricks to get your attention. Chapter 2. Consciousness, the way out of pain. From our childhood, every time we experience negativity or pain, a part of that remains within us. But when it builds up and eventually becomes a monster, the author calls this pain body. In some people, the pain body is active all the time, and in others there are certain words or things that awaken the body pain. For example, sometimes you say something simple to someone, and they get very angry, and even violent, and you just look at him, and you can't understand why such a simple word made him so angry. And I'm sure it happened to you too. Someone says a word and your whole day is ruined. You become very depressed or angry all day. If the emotional reaction is much greater than the events or words that made you feel bad or angry, then you need to know what the pain body is. The pain body is not you, it's a separate monster that lives in your body and feeds on your attention. You always try to identify yourself as you, but you are never the pain body. It's part of your ego that is a false identity that has been created based on external experiences. Most of us have the pain body. The important thing is to catch it before it arises and takes control. If you are present, you can feel it when it arises. Sometimes it's a very depressing feeling, sometimes it lingers, and you keep imagining it, like when you hit someone, and sometimes it's fear. So when the pain body awakens, stand there and look at it, don't judge it and don't analyze it. The moment you recognize that it is the pain body and you start looking at it, you cannot control it. By being present, you put light in the darkness, and the pain body cannot live in the light of the presence. If you don't believe it, let me do a little experiment. I'll stop talking for a few seconds, and in that period watch your mind and tell me what thoughts come to it. Observe your mind like a cat waiting for a mouse to come out of its hole. Have you had any thoughts during these seconds? I'm sure not. Even if you thought something, it probably took a while before a thought came through. This is the power of now. This is being present. As you can see, when you are present, your mind can't take control of you. Chapter 3: Moving Deep into the Now. Time and mind are inseparable. If you take the mind out of the equation, then time disappears. Imagine that there are no humans on the planet and there are only plants and animals. If you see an eagle and say, "Do you know what time it is?" The eagle will say, "What now?" Do you mean time? It's now, the time is now, what else is there? Past and future are like the moon. The moon doesn't have its own light, it receives the light of the sun. In the same way, the past and the future obtain the light of now. There is no other moment you live in except the present moment. Once we understand this, we can use time as a practical tool. The author calls this clock time. For example, if you want to achieve some goal in a year, then you use the time for practical purposes. However, if you constantly think about the end goal and forget the present moment, you are using psychological time. Psychological time is the memories of our past and projections for our future. If you are not aware of it, you will end up living in psychological time. The source of all stress is based on thinking about what happened in the past and what will happen in the future. I used to live in the future. I just wanted to get to a point as soon as possible because I thought the past sucked and the future would make me happier. When you live in the future, you discard the present moment, you stop enjoying it, you begin to want what you don't have, and you don't want what you already have, which creates a contradiction, and thus you begin to hate life. How does this work in your life? All the work you are doing is a means of reaching a destination. You feel that if you get that job you will feel accomplished, you feel that if you reach your goal you will be happier. You are always waiting for something to happen in order to feel whole. Reaching the destination doesn't lead to happiness. Let me give you an example. Let's say your biggest goal is to climb Everest. Would you feel happy if the helicopter picks you up and drops you on top of Everest? I am sure the answer is no. Happiness is not about reaching the top, nor is it about staying at the base of Everest. Happiness is in the journey. Happiness is in the present moment, so just relax, handle the present moment in front of you. You will solve the future problem when the time comes. Don't let your mind take over. If all of your problems suddenly disappear right now, after a few days your mind will start creating new problems. It is not true? To create problems, our mind needs time. For example, if a wild animal suddenly jumps into your room, it becomes a challenge. You may run or hurt yourself, but it's not a problem because to solve a problem you need time for your mind to think about it and identify it as a problem. If you are still not convinced, you can answer the following question: can you tell me what problem you have at the moment? Not in an hour, not tomorrow, what's wrong right now? I'm sure you can't think of something because if you had a problem you'd be solving it instead of watching this video. The author says that he even received letters from prisoners with life sentences saying that they found freedom in prison by asking this question, because these questions make you realize that now you have no problem. What you might have are challenges or situations that need to be addressed. This can be difficult to understand, but doing so would change a lot for you personally. For me, this part of the book was crucial. So, just focus on the now. First, begin to be present with small exercises such as when you are cooking, waiting for the elevator, or when you are taking a bath. For the moment, you will spend more time in the present. You can also start meditating for 10 minutes a day, which can also help you see how your mind misleads you very often. Very often you will catch yourself when you are not present. The moment you realize that you are not present, you become present. This reveal is already a huge success. Thanks for watching this video. If you like, don't forget to leave your like and subscribe.